Iceland was one of the last places on the planet Earth to be settled by humans, who were the Vikings who sailed in from Norway. In the year 930 AD, the first parliament met in Bing Valley National Park, which is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Iceland is home to one of the oldest democracies and the first parliament in the world. Iceland had the first democratically elected female and openly gay prime ministers. 80% of Iceland uninhabited, one of the most sparsely populated countries on Earth. 60% of the Icelandic population lives in Reykjavik, the capital city. Icelandic language remains unchanged from the ancient Norse from the arrival of the Vikings and makes for an interesting linguistic study that means 1,000-year-old texts are still easily readable. Icelandic alphabet has loads of vowels. The letters C, Q, W and Z are also not included in their alphabets. Icelandic students are taught their native language along with Danish and English. They have a high fluency in English, and it is said that up to 98% of adults in Iceland are fluent in multiple languages. There are no surnames or family names in Iceland. Icelanders use a traditional Nordic naming system which includes a last name that is comprised from their father's or mother's first name. Everyone in the Icelandic population is known by their first names regardless of rank or profession. The telephone directories are also alphabetically organized with the first names. First names not previously used in Iceland must be approved by the Icelandic Naming Committee. No standing army. Iceland does not have an army, navy or air force. Icelandic police don't carry guns. Crime in Iceland is very low and violent crime is practically non-existent. There are no forests in Iceland. Usually temperate country, not too hot or cold. The highest temperature recorded was 30.5 degrees Celsius at the eastern fjords in 1939. Iceland flag colors represent elements of the land. Red represents the Iceland's volcanic fires, white is for the snow and ice-capped mountains, and blue for the ocean. About 11% of the island is covered in glacial ice or cool lava beds. Iceland has more than 200 volcanoes and a third of all the lava found on Earth. Volcano erupts every 4 years on an average. There is a black volcanic sand beach in Iceland. Sky in winter turns into a rainbow of colors from collisions of particles released by the sun close to the Arctic Circle. Iceland is also the most eco-friendly country in the world. 85% of Iceland's energy is from renewable resources. 30% of their electricity comes from geothermal power and the remainder by hydropower. Word geyser is derived from the Icelandic nature hot water geysers. Iceland's economy makes more money from whale watching tours than it does from the commercial whaling or scientific whale hunts. Iceland had been transformed from one of Europe's poorest countries to one of the world's wealthiest. Consumption of Coca-Cola per capita is higher than in any other country. There is no McDonald's in Iceland. Beer remained illegal in Iceland until 1990. Beer Day celebrates the end of a long beer ban. Strip clubs banned in Iceland in 2010. Iceland has the longest work week in Europe, 43.5 hours per week. Babies in Iceland are routinely left outside to nap. Raw profane heart is considered a delicacy. Icelandic horse is unique as it displays 2 additional gaits as compared to all other normal breeds of horses. In Iceland, owning a pet snake, lizard or turtle is illegal and there aren't any reptiles or amphibians in the country. Mosquitoes do not exist in Iceland. In 2010, 97.6% of Icelandic population had internet connection. Iceland's national sport is handball. Iceland has the highest number of book and magazine publications per capita, and 10% of the country's population will publish a book in their lifetimes. Icelanders watch more movies than any other nation. Highly popular Game of Thrones was partially filmed in Iceland at incredible landscapes under incredibly harsh filming conditions to film for multiple seasons of the show. Majority of Icelanders still believe in mythical creatures like elves and trolls.